Jet School is a testing center of IELTS. You can book your IELTS there. And what is this one? The kind of, let's say, materials that they will give you are usually from the British Council. Okay? But again, that's still IELTS. The same IELTS with Cambridge and the other one in a while. So, are you familiar with ESP Foundation? That is also a testing center that is located near the Logarithm School. Logarithm. Also Nest IT School. I think there's Nest IT School there. You know Eder University? That American university over there? Near Bakshingdi? Over there. I don't know that place. Anyway, that place over there. That's ESP Foundation, where you can also book for your IELTS exam, aside from Jet School. Okay? And then they also use British Council. And since it is British Council, again, it's British English. The last one is based in Australia. We have IDP, which stands for International Development Program. So these three organizations, these big organizations, make up IELTS. Cambridge University, British Council, and IDP. Okay? I'm not sure if there is IDP here in Mongolia. That I am yet to research. But so far what I noticed is that a lot of testing centers here for IELTS are either aligned with British Council or the University of Cambridge. Two big programs for IELTS. Again, the three of them make up IELTS. IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. It is the most widely taken exam worldwide. Okay, again, worldwide, because of the kind of standard that IELTS possess. May it be for working, or for living abroad, or studying abroad. So that's the IELTS exam. According to the data, there are approximately 1.7 million tests per year. Only exams, and not students, but exams. Students would be more than 1.7, but only exams being given to a lot of students globally, including Mongolia. Now, let's talk about the two types of tests for IELTS. One is general, the other is academic. Now, if you're planning to live abroad, let's say as a citizen, who among you here aspires to live abroad as a citizen? Let's say in Canada, in the US. Do you have dreams of, let's say, living there as a citizen? Yes or no? No? Really? Yeah, okay, that's okay, that's okay. Alright. Before coming to Mongolia, I was told by my friend to apply in Spain. Spain, as a European country, is a country where, for us, Filipinos, people in the Philippines, can easily apply for a citizenship. If we live there for only 1 year, we can apply for a dual citizenship. So it's like we can have a Spanish passport and also Filipino passport. You know, the Spanish passport is also a very strong passport. Okay? Now, if I plan on living there, and if I, let's say, decided on accepting the invitation of my friend, I will take, or I should have taken, general IELTS. Because this type of test is for those who want to live abroad permanently. You may still come back here in Mongolia from time to time, but because Mongolia do not have a policy about dual citizenship, so either you refuse becoming a Mongolian anymore, or become, let's say, a U.S. citizen. It's up to you really. So you have to give up your citizenship to become a citizen of another country. Okay? So I'm not sure if Mongolia has a dual citizenship policy. Do you have any idea about it? You may have, you may do your research about it. Okay? Maybe there is already a policy. Now, if you want to also work abroad, let's say I'm a teacher and I want to work in let's say in Australia, I need to have my IELTS general test. So for you students who are planning to study abroad, you should not take general. What you should take is the academic. The academic is more difficult than general. Again, the academic IELTS is more difficult than general. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to, let's say, make you worry about this, but this is the truth about IELTS. The academic test is really difficult. The general exam is way simpler because the purpose is just for work. And you know, when you work, you don't need to really interact with a lot of people. You don't need to interact with a lot of people. You still have 2 chairs here. Or also there at the back. Okay, again class, if it's for work, I don't need to interact with a lot of people because I just work, right? For example, if I work as a factory worker, I will just be inside my workplace for the entire day, let's say from 7 a.m. to, I don't know, 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. I don't need to interact with people that much. But for academic, for those who are planning to study abroad, the reason why the exam is difficult, it is because you will be meeting a lot of native speakers. And you have to be ready. So, for example, when a native speaker would ask you a question, you cannot say, no English. You cannot say that. No English. English ba ako? Angli ba ako? No, you cannot say that. Am I right when I say ba? Or bish? What is bish again? Like I don't have, right? Or something like that. But when I say I don't speak English and say no English, it's like angli ba ako, right? Something like that. Anyway, you just understand me. I'm not a Mongolian. Anyway, so you cannot say, oh, no English. Okay, you cannot do that. That is why you need to really do a lot of training, a lot of learning when it comes to English. If you're planning to study abroad, is that clear? Who among you here? Okay, may I see a raise of a hand? Those who are planning to study abroad. Planning, I don't mean that you have decided or it's already a fixed plan, but planning, just a plan. We never know. It may or may not happen. Raise your hand, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. The rest. What are your plans? Is it to work abroad? How about those who would like to work abroad? Especially for us, like as the workers. Maybe. Also, okay. Also you, okay? Maybe in the future when you finish your studies, you would like to work abroad. If you finish your studies here in Mongolia and you're planning to work abroad, you take the general. But again, if after high school, you then plan on, let's say, going abroad for your studies, then you take the academic exam. Is that clear? I have a student I think at the time, who was planning already to book the exam. And he told me, teacher, I will get the general training. I said, no. And he said, why not, teacher? Because your plan is to study. And general training is not for you. It should be academic if your plan is to study. So be very careful with that, okay? Now, if ever you pass your IELTS exam this year, your IELTS exam certificate will only be valid for 2 years. So let's say you took your exam last January. So January 2025 until January of 2027. That is the coverage of your license or of your certificate. Let's say after January 2027, you were not able to use your certificate, then you have to take the exam again. Because it's only valid for 2 years, okay? That is why if you plan on studying abroad, kindly make sure that you will make use of the result of your test for 2 years. Otherwise, you have to take the exam again, and it will cost you around 800,000 Tobruk. Imagine spending 800,000 for just one exam and then you will not use it. So it will be a waste of time and energy and also money. Alright? So I hope these things are clear. I'm giving you like an overview or a backgrounder on the IELTS examination. Next. So how does it work? The IELTS exam would range from 0 to 9. 0 as the lowest and 9 as the highest. Now, you can only receive 0 if, for example, tomorrow is your exam and you don't feel like doing your exam. Let's say you did not go to your test, no? And so on. That's the time you will be given 0. But if you went there, if you did the test and all the exams in there, then might as well you will be given, I don't know, 5, 6, or 7. It depends on your performance, okay? But again, 0 is only given if you did not take the test that is scheduled for you. Okay, let's continue. There are 4 skills that will be assessed during this during the IELTS exam. Teacher, can I just choose, like, I will only take the speaking test? Can I do that? No, you cannot. The IELTS exam is for you to have the 4 skills. First, you have the speaking test. There will be 3 parts. And by the way, class, the speaking test is the shortest exam of all the skills. You only have around 15 minutes to finish the test. And it's going to be face-to-face with a native speaker, an American, a British citizen, an Australian, Canadian, or New Zealander. So again, these people are considered as native speakers. Not Italians, not Germans, not Asians, but it depends because, for example, Singapore, my country, the Philippines, and India can also become examiners. Okay, because English in our country is like a law. It is a second language, so everyone must learn English beginning kindergarten or preschool, and everything should be taught in English. Mathematics in English, science in English. Except for the language like Mongolian, it's always Mongolian. Alright? Except for that. But the rest are English. So we can also become examiners. I am trying to get my credentials now, so I can apply as an examiner for speaking at JET school. But I'm still waiting for my credentials. I am yet to finish my PhD. So once I finish my PhD, I will then proceed to, applying for my examinership at JET school. Maybe in the near future, I'll become your examiner. Since I know you, I might give you a higher score. Anyway, just kidding. Okay, I want to give you, 8.0, 8.5. We never know. I might become your examiner one of these days, alright? But we'll see about it. Now, the speaking test is one of the many skills I really love the most because it's about speaking and it's about being able to interact with a lot of people. And especially that I am a pronunciation teacher. I teach pronunciation to a lot of students, and I said I am very particular with how students pronounce the words. You may use British English. It's actually dependent on you. You may use American English. Okay, go on. Indian English. Okay. No, my teacher. Good morning, teacher. How are you today? Oh, you can use that. Huh? You can be very flexible with your accents. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is if I can understand what you're saying. If I cannot, okay, bye. 4.0, 3.0, and so on. That's really a hard decision for me to make, but again, if that's the performance, then that will also be your score, okay? Again, that's for the speaking. There are 3 parts. Part 1. Part 1, the examiner will ask you questions. What are these questions? Personal questions. Questions like, where do you live? Of course, you know the answer to this. Am I right? Where do you live? Like Davadula, where do you live? Aha, that's of course the first answer that any one of us can give. But class, it's always obvious that you live in Ulaanbaatar or that you live in Mongolia. Am I right? So when you answer the question, do not anymore mention I live in UB, I live in Mongolia, because that's already obvious. If you don't live in Mongolia, why are you here? By the way. Like I just arrived here yesterday from Russia, I don't know. And then this evening I will go back to Russia also. Well, if that's the case, alright, you don't live in Mongolia, but if you live here for how many years already and you studied here and so on and so forth, then that's obvious. You don't need to answer, I live in UB. So how should you answer the question then? Where do you live? How should you answer that question?
Home address.
Your
home address.
Your home address? Well, what is that then? Can you give me an example of a home address? You may not give me your exact address, but just an example.
Chingte district. Uh,
Yeah, the district. That's very good. You may mention the district. It could be Bayanzurk. What else? It could be Sukbatar. It could be, what did you say? Chingilte?
Chingte district.
Something like that. Okay. Or Hanul, Bayangol. These are districts, right?
Yeah.
And after mentioning your district, you may then proceed to saying which horo. Horo. I heard that horo and horolol are not the same. Am I right? So you may mention the horo, the horolol, or if the street name is also famous or familiar. Like for example, the place where I live, that's the street there is Tokyo Street, in Bayanzurk district, near Chinggis Imart. That's Tokyo Street from I think from Bukit Urgo to somewhere to KFC Sansar over there. Again, that's it. That's a familiar street. It's the Tokyo Street. So you may mention the street name also of your place. But if the street name is not familiar, is not, let's say, popular, you may not mention that. So you may say, okay, for example, Davadulam, can you ask me the question? Where do I live? Where do you live, teacher?
Where do you live?
Yeah, where do you live, teacher?
Where do you live?
My place is in the district of Bayanzurk. Basically at the first huro. I don't know the huro now, please forgive me. First huro of the district. My place is near KFC Sansar, in front of the English School of Mongolia, near the Russian Cultural Center or something, and also very much near to Chinggis Imart. I live in a low-rise apartment. Okay. What do I mean by low-rise apartment? By the way, your apartment, you should also know plus your apartment. Low-rise and high-rise. So when we speak of low-rise, oh pardon my handwriting, but that's low-rise and high-rise. When we speak of low-rise apartment, it means that the apartment only has few floors, maybe 4 floors or 5 floors. That's a low-rise building. But if your apartment has, let's say, more than 10 floors, that is a high-rise apartment building. Okay? There is a difference between high-rise and high-end. Okay, high-rise, and then the other one is high-end. A high-rise apartment would mean that your apartment has more than 10 floors. Who lives here in an apartment building with more than 10 floors? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so your apartment building then is a high-rise apartment. Mine is a low-rise apartment because it's only around 7 floors. Okay, and I live at the 5th floor of that building. Now, high-end apartments are not the same with high-rise apartments. High-end would mean these are expensive apartments. Like for example, mostly towns like Marshalltown in Mongolia. You know, King Tower, Marshalltown, something. What else? You know Baktengel? Baktengel City? Like the newly built place there. What else? Can you give me more example? Yeah, of course, Zesan is always. I often laugh at it because my students will say, teacher, you may ask the Zesan boys and the Zesan girls about Zesan. Yeah, what is with the Zesan boys and Zesan girls? Well, teacher, we call them that because they are like spoiled, rich, rich students or something. Oh, really? Okay. That I do not know because I'm not from Mongolia, so I just rely on what they would tell me. So, Zesan, somewhere in Zesan, that's also where high-end apartments can be located. How about Encanto? Near Encanto at Hanul. I think there's also a lot of high-end apartments there, right? So again, if you live in an apartment that is high-rise and also expensive, then your apartment is a high-rise and a high-end apartment. Okay? And what else? Shangri-La, of course, Shangri-La. There are apartment buildings there, right? I mean, apartment rooms. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I need to ask you that. Hotels cannot be considered as high-end apartments because they are not apartments, they are more of a hotel. So maybe luxurious hotels is the term we use, okay? Now, I told you that one because when we do the first part of the speaking test, we have to give the examiner direct answer to the question. You don't say, the question is, where do you live? And you say, I live in. That isn't a very good starting sentence. Do not anymore mention the question like, I live in. The question is, where do you live? And then your answer is, I live in. No, do not begin that way. You should start by directly saying, like what I said a while ago, my place is located in the district of Bayan-Zur. What is the reason why you should not use the question as your beginning answer? It will lower your vocabulary. If the question is, what is your favorite ice cream flavor? For example, that's the question because that's also a personal question. And then your answer is, my favorite ice cream flavor is, that is not a very good way to begin or start your answer. So how should you answer the question then? What is your favorite ice cream flavor? You should speak directly. It is vanilla or chocolate actually. Or it is the matcha flavored ice cream. You make sense. Do not again repeat the question. My favorite ice cream flavor is, my favorite food is, my favorite subject is. That is not a very good sentence starters. I'm telling you that because I have been through 3 exams. And 3 exams because I need to take the exam after 2 years. So I can teach because the license is only for 2 years. Okay, that's a requirement for many IELTS. Once I become a certified IELTS teacher, I will no longer need to take the exams after 2 years. So once I become an examiner, I may not anymore take the test after 2 years. Something like that. Okay? So again, as a sentence starter, do not use the question as your beginning answer. What is your favorite food? It is boots. Or bot, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. Or horho, for example. I love horho. Horho. So you just answer directly. Instead of saying, my favorite food is, it's like you're a kindergarten or a preschooler or a grade 1 student. My favorite ice cream flavor is, my favorite subject is. No, do not begin that way, okay? Again, that's for the first part. Questions that are personal to you will be asked of you. But of course, not those that are very private already. Not those questions like, who is your lover? Or let's say, who is your boyfriend? Of course, those questions will not be part of the IELTS exam. Although these are personal questions, but these are questions that are related to a certain topic like food, school, family, travel, hobbies. Do you have hobbies, by the way?
Yeah.
Hobbies, what do you do during free time? Your favorite sports, maybe? Alright, things like this, but not the very private details of you. Alright, second part. This part, you will be given a chance to speak for 2 minutes. You cannot stop. Unless the examiner would say, okay, that's the end of your part 2. So during the second part, you have to speak in full 2 minutes about a certain topic. Example, describe a capital city you would like to visit in the future. Remember, what are the keywords there? Capital city. So can you mention Shanghai as an example? Shanghai in China, is that an example of the question? Why not? Shanghai is not the capital city of China. It is Beijing. So although Shanghai is a city, but the question is capital city. So be very careful with how the questions are given to you. No? Another thing. What is your favorite? Describe a favorite subject. Describe your favorite subject in high school. Okay, during high school. Of course, for many of you, you're still high school students. But let's say for us, we're already working. Describe your favorite teacher. For example, you describe your favorite teacher at school. Okay. Now, how many teachers can I give as an example?
One.
One or more than one? Describe your favorite teacher. How many teachers can I give?
One.
As an example, one teacher only. Why am I mentioning that? Some students say, oh, I have a lot of favorite teachers. They are, let's say, teacher Anggalan, teacher Dabadulan, teacher, let's say, Tsitsig. But the most favorite, my most favorite of them all is teacher Tsitsig, for example. You cannot mention your three other teachers or two other teachers because you should only mention your most, okay, your top most favorite teacher. Although you have other favorite teachers, but the question is asking you to give one example, one person, one teacher in that case, okay? Just give him or her that favorite teacher of yours. Okay, during high school or during elementary or in the university, it depends, okay? And you have to speak for a full 2 minutes. You cannot say, that's it, I'm done. No. The examiner should not stop you from talking. Speak in full 2 minutes. By the way, try doing that at home if you can speak about a topic for 2 minutes. If you cannot, then you have to do well with that. Okay? 2 minutes may not be that long, but when we begin speaking, actually it's like, what? 2 minutes is very long. You kind of try doing that. Next time we'll also have a speaking session, no? But like right now, as you go home later, kind of try doing an exercise of it. If you can speak for full 2 minutes with a given topic, you just give it a try, okay? The third part is not the hardest, but it can be very challenging because the questions here are abstract questions. For example, your topic for part 2 is about a capital city you would like to visit in the future. That's your part 2, okay? Your part 3 will be related or the same with your part 2 topic. So questions in part 3 would be like this. Why do people move from the countryside to the city? Why do people move from the countryside to the city? You will not say, yes?
It's more convenient.
It's more convenient. In what way? You tell us. What makes it more convenient?
There's a lot of shops.
The shops are closer and
What else? That's not very enough.
We can escape air pollution.
In the city?
prices are
Yeah, from the countryside to the city. That's the question. Yeah. What else?
prices are cheaper and ambulances are faster.
Here in the city.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Well, that's your experience. You can use that as an answer. What else? If you said that it's more convenient to live here in the city, what else aside from shops? A lot of hospitals are here as well. So when you would like to have a medical checkup, it will not be difficult for you to look for a nearest hospital. It's actually just everywhere. My place, we have the nearest hospital there as well. And some other clinics, small hospitals. What else? Most universities and schools are here as well. Okay? Shops and malls. A lot of malls are here. How about in the countryside, by the way? Like in Darhan. Who lived in Darhan here? I mean, before or even up to now?
Like 1 year ago.
Oh, a year ago. And how was the experience living in Darhan? Were you born there? Oh, I see. Are there a lot of shops there in Darhan? A lot. How about shopping malls and so on? If you compare Darhan to UB,
There's like 4 to 5 big shopping malls. And
but if you compare that to UB has more shopping malls and something like that. So again, that's the convenience that you can mention there. Schools, shopping malls, hospitals. Of course, entertainment is alive here in the city. Karaoke's, bars, everywhere. It's more alive here in the city. So you may mention that. Another question is this. In what way can the government improve the economy of the city? It is something abstract. Can you answer the question? In what way can the government improve the economy of the city? Again, this time the question is not very personal. It's something big, it's something abstract that you should not use like, well, I believe. No, you cannot use it as an answer. You should always use the third person singular or third person plural here. People, they. Teacher, can I use we? We live here in the city, or we transfer here in the city because of this. Can you use we as an answer? What do you think? You cannot. Okay? For abstract questions, just be very careful. Use people, they, individuals, the public, the population, things like this. But again, we'll have a training on that next time. I'm just giving you class an overview of the speaking portion, okay? Next, you have the listening. If you have problems, class, if you have ear problems, you may not be able to do the listening test very well. Also the speaking test. If you have some ear problems or ear complications, health problems, for example, with your ears, it may be difficult for you to do the listening test. Okay? Now, the listening section has 4 parts, and part 1 and part 2 are always the easiest. As you proceed to parts 3 and 4, the recording can get a little bit fast and also difficult in terms of vocabulary. Okay? So that's for the listening. You will answer 40 questions within 30 minutes. The 10 minutes here is not for you, but is not for you computer-based test takers, but only for the paper-based. If you will take the test class computer-based, you don't have any transfer time. If it is paper-based, you have 10 minutes transfer time. Now, what is the danger of doing a paper-based exam? You know your writing test. Who among you here has, I'm sorry to use the term, but has a bad handwriting? Like you consider your handwriting as not that good, like a bad handwriting? Only 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 5. If that is the case, do the computer-based exam. For computer-based, you just have to type your essay, your report, okay? But if you plan on doing the writing test using paper-based, just be very careful with how you write, because a lot of examiners are very strict when it comes to how you write. Like for example, my handwriting there, it's not very clear. If I use this one, you know the difference between cursive and print. Cursive is, for example, okay, like let's say my name is like this, no? This is cursive, and I think a lot of you here in your Mongolian language would use cursive in writing. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay? That's normal because that's how you are being brought up. But in IELTS, use the print letters. Okay? Not the cursive, but the print. If you will do it paper-based. But if computer-based, you don't need to worry about it. Okay? Now, the writing test has 2 essential parts. Task number 1, you need to write 150 words. Can you take a look at the papers you have there? This one. This is an example of a writing task number 1. Okay, and you need to write a minimum of 150 words. Again, minimum. Teacher, what if I would write around 149 only? What do you think? Do you think the examiner will accept your paper as a valid paper? Yes or no? No, he will not. If you submit that with only 149, not 150, the examiner will deduct your points. And the deduction can be very big because that's part of the instruction. The instruction is like what you have there. This one here. Write at least 150 words. So you need to follow that. Can I write 160, 170, 180, 200? Can I do that?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. So from 150 to 200, that's okay. Okay? But not 250, not 300 for task number 1. No, not allowed. For task number 1. For task number 2, you should write a minimum of 250 words. 249, is that okay?
No.
No. 290.
Yeah.
Yes, it is okay. 350. Not anymore. Okay? For this, only until 300. For this, only until 200. Okay? Clear? And by the way, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, a total of 60 minutes. So 1 hour only for the writing test. So for now, you need to practice yourself. If you cannot finish your writing test for 1 hour, I think you need to improve more on budgeting your time. We will do that one in a little while. The last one is where I really don't like doing. I don't know why. Even when I was still a child, I don't like answering any reading exam. I feel like whenever I do that, I would just sleep. I would just accept a 0 score for my reading exams. That was before. But when I took the IELTS exam, I said, oh, I need to be very serious with this because, again, it will be part of my bank score. Okay? Now, the reading text class, like what you did last Tuesday, can be very boring. Have you noticed the one you did last time?
Yeah.
Were you able to were you about to sleep during the reading test last Tuesday? Like we were doing it like, as if your eyes would fall. Have you experienced that one? Not only this time, no, but even before, like when you have your reading exams for your Mongolian language. You have a reading exam there, right? How about history? History. I also don't like history. Who among you doesn't like history? I mean, not the history of your country, but the subject, okay? I don't know why, but I feel like history again? What is the importance of knowing who was killed during this year? Who killed him? Who killed her? Why would I know that? I mean, why? I don't even know them. I mean, those were in my mind back in the day, but now I feel like, okay, I need to know because I am a part of this country, so I need to know. Something like that, okay? But again, that's reading. I understand if, like, one of these days when we do another reading test, you would sleep there. I would understand. Because the best way to sleep is for you to read. Okay? Whenever I'm at home and I cannot sleep because I have some insomnia moments sometimes, I would just read a book and then I would, I will fall to my chamber and then that's it. I would be asleep after that. Something like that. Again, reading is a very good way to sleep properly. I don't know why. But class, for the reading test, you cannot sleep during the IELTS exam, okay? Do not sleep. Just because I told you that you can sleep or what during our training doesn't mean that you can sleep during the test, okay? Please do not do that. So you need to do everything within 1 hour, 20 minutes per text, mean to say there are 3 texts here or 3 long passages, so 20 minutes for each, including the answering portion. That's for the exams. Okay, instead, in terms of the equivalent of the scores in IELTS and also TOEFL, band score 6 is considered as a competent user. If your band score is only 5, just a modest user. So it's not going to be very helpful for you. 7, good user. 7.5 and 8, very good user. And then 8.5 is actually proficient user, and then 9 is expert user. If you get class, for example, a band score of 9, it's like you are a native speaker yourself. That is the interpretation of it. It's like you're a native speaker. Okay? But again, we need to try our best. Okay? May I see a raise of a hand here for those who are aspiring or dreaming of getting this band score? 6. Band score 6. May I see a raise of a hand? Like, teacher, that's enough for me. That's okay with me. Band score 6, it's okay. 6? 6.5? It's good. 7. We only have 1, 2, also you, 3, 4, 5, okay? 7.5? 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. 5. 8. Band score 8. 1, 2, 9. You still raise your hand. We never know. Okay. Well, how about the others? What is your desired band score? Are you okay with 5? Please do not be okay with 5. Okay. 5 is like, like 50-50. 50 you're dead, 50 you're alive. 5.0. Okay. But 7 is a very good score. So maybe 7. If possible 8, and if still possible 9. We never know, okay? Well, my requirement for you is to get for your mock exams, for you to get a band score higher than 7. That is my expectation, but you don't need to worry about this one, okay? You just do your best. You don't need to really say, well, teacher, what if I don't get the expected score of yours? What will happen to me? No, nothing will happen to you. But we need to do more with that then if you said that you have a lower band score of 5 or 4 and so on. Now, these are countries where IELTS is mostly accepted and also the standard for every country. But class, I have not placed here all the countries because it will take us maybe 2 hours to finish all the countries. I just place here some of the countries that I have the data with. So, for example, in Canada, the required band score is, if you're planning on living there and migrating as a citizen, maybe 6.5 will do. And that's general training. For many schools, also 6.5. So it's now again possible for you to study in Canada with just 6.5. But again and again, just a disclaimer, it will depend on the university or the school you're applying to study. Okay? It will depend on that. Next, what country is this? The United States, right? So for example, Columbia University 8.5, Ohio State University is 8, and then St. Louis University 6. And some other schools also would have like a requirement of 6 and above. In South America, we have here Argentina. The University of Buenos Aires, for example. So 7.5 is needed. We now proceed to Europe. Okay. Of course, UK and Ireland. By the way, Ireland here is not the Republic of Ireland. This one is Republic of Ireland. This is the Ireland belonging to the UK. Okay, because Ireland is separated by this too. So, for UK and Ireland, you can have, for living abroad, you can have 6.5. I mean, not studying, not working, but just being a resident. No? 6.5 at Oxford, it's possible to enter Oxford with 7. On the average, actually it's possible. But you just have to be very ready. You have to also practice, your British English. By the way, in the UK, a lot of young people there would, belittle you or humiliate you if you don't speak in British English. When they hear you speaking, let's say with an accent that is different from them, you might be, subject to bullying and everything. So just be ready. Just be ready to let's say study there. I have a lot of students who have that experience, but then they said that they were able to overcome the problem by learning some, few British English words and accents. And it can help you a lot when you travel there. LSE is London School of Economics. We have University of Edinburgh. We also have Cambridge, of course. Glasgow. UCL stands for University College of London. And then the Imperial College is where a lot of royal members are studying. The Imperial College. You never know, you may meet the future king there when you study there. In Germany, master's degree would have around 6 or 6.5. And the University of Bamberg, for example, is 7. That's Germany. Okay. Oh, in Italy, you can have 4.5. That's surprising. But 4.5 is a real band score there. You can be accepted. Postgrad would mean master's or doctorate degree or PhD. Then you can have 6.5 in there. At Turin, 5.0. Why is Italy like this? Although Italy is part of Europe as a continent. Well, Italy is not an English-speaking country. Okay, it is not. I mean, the people there are not native speakers of English. Okay, they're just like us, visitors or foreigners of English. Next, in Asia, for example, I only have Kazakhstan here. Kazakhstan rather. Kazakhstan, medicine, engineering, and sci-tech, 6. And then UMS, or humanities and social sciences, you have 6.5. All right. In Hong Kong, for example, you have 7. Majority of them would require 7 for students. Okay, and the last one. In Australia, 6 in every skill. Speaking 6, not lower than 6. Okay? But maybe higher than that, that will be better. Okay? And that's Australia. And the last one is, what country is this?
New Zealand.
New Zealand, okay? 6.5. And also among schools, 6.5. Okay? By the way, class, it's a very good place to live because New Zealand has a lot of, let's say, benefits. If you live there as a citizen, you can have almost everything free. Also in Germany. In Germany, New Zealand, and some parts of Australia. Now, you have to do a research on your own about the country where you will be studying in the future, okay? You have to do that yourself. Questions? This is just, class, an overview of the IELTS program. There is more for you to know, but it's for you to do your own research about it, okay? Now, allow me to proceed to our discussion tonight on writing task number 1. Are you ready? Again, you will not be writing an exact report tonight. What we will be doing is this one. Considering that you only have 20 minutes for the entire writing task number 1, you need to divide that into this. This one is just a recommendation, okay? It's just a recommendation or a suggestion. You may or may not follow that one. So, what is this 3 minutes here? 3 minutes is for you to do an analysis of the chart. That is what we will be doing now as well. The title of my presentation is How to Accurately Analyze Charts, Maps, and Process Diagrams. After analyzing, you then proceed to writing, and then this is checking. So 3 minutes for analysis, 13 minutes for the writing proper, and then 4 minutes for the checking. By the way, what will you check during that 4 minutes?
Grammar.
Your grammar, what else? The number of words. How many words again for task number 1? 100, that's the minimum, okay? What else? Also the spelling of your words, because spelling matters here, okay? So those are the things you need to check there. Now, since we have 3, 14, 4 as our breakdown of time for the 20 minutes task number 1, we begin with analysis tonight. Okay? Now, analyzing, class, can be very difficult. Like, what's in this chart? What is this information? What is this up, down, or something? Huh? It can get very complicated sometimes. Oh, you have this copy. Who has no copy of this? Who else? Alright. So, take for example this one class. When you do the analysis, you need to check what is written here, what's inside, and the ones above, what are the information you can find there. So you have something to write later on. Again, it can get a bit difficult, but not impossible to do. Okay. Let's take for example this one class. This is an example, and then the years are
2011 to 2018.
to 2018. So that's basically the graph, okay? That is what the graph is all about. But this one here, number of students enrolled in a university in the United Kingdom. So that is the data being shown. Now we proceed to letter A. By the way, class, the questions here are the same questions you can find here. Okay, please be guided. The questions here are the same questions I will be presenting on this presentation. Now, the axis, in mathematics, axis. Familiar with this topic? I think in geometry, this is the y-axis and this is the x-axis. Who loves mathematics here? Who loves mathematics? If you love mathematics, I'm not saying that for those who has no love for mathematics, that you will not pass the writing task number 1 report. No. But for those who love mathematics, who love numbers, it will be easier for them to actually analyze numbers. But I'm not asking you to become mathematicians or like Pascal, Pythagoras, and so on. No, I'm not asking you to be like them. What I'm asking you is to be familiar with how numbers can be interpreted and analyzed. Okay? Now, we have the y-axis here, this part. This is the vertical line, and the horizontal line is the x-axis. We ask ourselves, given this graph, what is in the y-axis? By the way, if it's not very clear in your part, for those in the back, you may take a picture of this and just zoom this in on your phone. Again, if it's not very clear, because the presentation is really not that clear. Alright. So, what can you find in the y-axis? What information can you find there? Anything that you can find there.
Number.
Give me one. Numbers from what number? From 1? Is it from 1 or from 0?
1. 0 to 1.
From 0 to? What's the last number on top?
1200.
1200s. Or 1200. Okay? That's the last number. What else? What other information can you find there? Class, some of the words there are written differently, so you have to tilt your head. Men and women in further education. What is further education? Is it a high school education?
College.
No, this is college or university. Class, elementary and high school, even middle school, they all belong to the basic education. Why basic? Because we need to finish them before we can enter the university, okay? That's basic education. Now, aside from that, what can you find in that enclosure? What do we call that one, by the way?
Thousands.
This one.
Thousands.
What do you call this one, by the way? This and this. These are punctuations, but what do you call this? Yeah, enclosures, but these are called parentheses. This is open. This is close. Open and close parentheses. What can you find there?
Thousands.
The word?
Thousands.
Thousands. And if that is the case, what will happen to your numbers?
200,000.
Will this still be just 200, or what will happen to this?
Multiplied by 1,000.
We multiply this one with 1,000. What will happen to this number then?
200,000.
This will become 200,000. How about this?
1,200,000.
1,200,000. So you see, class, if you do not read everything, if you do not analyze your thousands, since there is a word thousands there, that means that the numbers are in thousands. So 200 is not just 200 here, but 200,000. 400,000, 600,000, 800,000, 1 million and 1.2 million. Clear? That is the purpose of analysis. Because if you don't, let's say, 200, okay, there were, let's say, for example, this one. Now, for male portion, there were 1,000 male students. Maybe. But this is not just 1,000. This is 1,000 times 1,000. That's going to be 1 million. So there should be 1 million students, not 1,000 students. So your report will become a mistake if, although you wrote there 1,000, but it's not 1,000, it has to be 1 million. Understood? Okay, because you don't just, okay, this is the graphic. Okay, alright, I will write now. No, you cannot do it like that. That's why 3 minutes for analysis, check everything. Even those words that you find like not important because they are very little or small, they were written like as if they are for what? For dwarves. Okay, you look at them. You still have to check all of them. Clear? So that is class for the y-axis. There are no other information here except for this one. Am I right? Are we clear on this? So you have 1.2 million, and then of course 0 is always 0, no? Even with multiplied with 1,000, so 0. And then you have here and so on. All right. How about here in our x-axis? We're now, class, in our x-axis. What can we find there as an information?
Years.
Years, basically, but what kind of years are they? Like for example, this one, 1970/71. Between? Yeah, it could also be. For example, this one. This is a class, we call this one as, by the way, this and this are also like punctuations like this. This is forward slash. This is a backward slash. Again, class, the same with parentheses. They are all called under punctuations, okay? Like commas, periods, question mark, they are all punctuations. Now, 1970 forward slash 71 or just slash 71. Do we count them as 2 years? Yes or no? Do we count this one as 2 years?
Yes.
Timo. Sorry. Timo. Te. Or Ugo. Ugo. Are you sure about it? Think about it. You know, this is about, by the way, this is education, right? You said it's about college or university. Am I right? Now, as a student, you should be familiar with this. For students, you should be familiar with this. I tell you, you are familiar with this. Any idea? What year are we in now? In the school, not like year 2025. Of course, that's very obvious. But at school, what year are we in right now?
10,000.
Yes, 2000.
2025.
to 2026.
Not yet. We're not yet done with the present school year. 2024 to 2025, because that school year is not, has not ended yet. Okay? So that's still our present school year. That one is called as a school year. Alright? Not just a year. Now, what is the importance of knowing the name of that year? Because you might think, here, 1970, 71, and there are what? 2 years there. No. You know very well at school that a school year is just 1 year. What month do we begin? By the way, every school year, what month do we begin?
September.
September, and the ending month?
June.
June. Sometimes some private schools would end in May. It really depends, no? But if it's government schools, June. Correct? So from September to June.